Hi, and welcome to the first ever PopBucket Podcast. I'm Martyn Newton, and with me today is James, Zara, and Michael. So hello, chaps.
Hey.
Hello.
Hiya.
We're here to talk about the latest news, releases, what we've been up to, and wherever else the flow takes us, really. Hopefully it's going to be like the 21st century Big Breakfast. That's the vibe I think we're going to go for. So to kick things off, I'm going to be Johnny Vaughan. To kick things off,
I'll be Lisa Tarbuck.
Zara or Lisa, whatever you want to be called. You've just seen Django Unchained.
Yes, I have.
What did you think of Tarantino's latest?
The word I'm going to use that I use quite quite frequently is epic.
Fair enough.
It was really good. None of you have seen it yet, have you?
No, I'm seeing it on Monday.
Yes,
forward
because
to it,
it's
actually.
your birthday treat to yourself, if I remember correctly.
Quite right.
It was really good. You're really going to enjoy it. It was, I think it's shot really well. The scenery is absolutely amazing. Obviously, Leonardo DiCaprio pulls it out the bag like he normally does. Christopher Waltz is absolutely amazing in this film, and obviously Jamie Foxx is superb. Originally, I was reading something at work the other day. Originally, there was supposed to be they were originally going to cast Will Smith in replacement of Jamie Foxx, and I'm not 100% sure if that would have worked. To be honest, but
I remember Will Smith was going to be Neo in The Matrix instead of Keanu Reeves, and I think Keanu Reeves nails this sort of a deadpan
solemn
look,
tortured soul, isn't it?
And Will Smith would have gone hell yeah at some point when jumping across a building when he's learning The Matrix.
Yeah, but imagine what the soundtrack of The Matrix would have been like if it had Will Smith in it instead.
Rapping,
You'd have had Jazzy Jeff.
That'd have been good, like Bad Boys.
Yeah, something like that. But, Christopher Waltz is good because Mark, you really like him. He's one of your favourite actors, isn't he?
He is possibly one of the actors that I enjoy watching the most. Like seeing him in Inglourious Basterds, which was like Tarantino's last thing. It was just a delight. It was obvious he was having the time of his life, acting in 3 different languages, being the most charismatic villain I think I've seen for the last 10 years. So, I can only imagine he's brilliant in Django as well.
Yeah, no, he was really good, and he speaks bits of German in it as well, which I knew that he was going to be like a German bounty hunter in it, but I didn't know how much German he was going to speak. But I was quite impressed with his German, not knowing German myself properly, but being surrounded by Germans all the time, living in Germany, it was quite impressive.
Yeah, that's
quite convincing. Yeah, he does the villain well, that guy. He does.
Yeah, because
I was going to say he does like a really lovable villain. He's really well spoken in it, and he's really proper. So when he's although he's doing obviously like killing people as a bounty hunter, the way he then presents himself afterwards to the village people is just absolutely hilarious. So it is really, really.
Because it's like that in Inglourious as well. Like he's such a proper gentleman at times, but obviously he's going around killing people.
I imagine his character's more sort of heroic or likable, if that's the word, in Django than he was in Inglourious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, definitely.
He's quite the dichotomy, I suppose, isn't he? Sort of. Initially, I think in Inglourious Basterds, you think, he's not such a bad guy. I'm sure he's a Nazi, but aside from that, I'm sure he's lovely.
I'd invite him out for cake.
He shows his true colours.
Did anyone random pop up in Django? Because I remember Mike Myers popping up in Inglourious, which I didn't expect. He just for like 5 minutes, just in a character, but he always gets people just to pop up for 5 minutes in a film, doesn't he?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head of who he had, if anyone. I can't actually think of anyone off the top of my head. Obviously, Tarantino did his own little cameo in there with possibly a really terrible Australian accent, but it was quite funny to watch. It's quite towards the end of the film, and he's only there for literally like 5 minutes, but it is his appearance in it is obviously iconic in all his films now, and it was just really good.
Yeah, that's cool. But I really like in Glorious as well, the guy who was in Prometheus, the robot, the android guy. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, I really liked him in Glorious as well. Like that, it's like 30-minute scenes of them sitting in the bar talking. Yeah. And then he gets caught out because like he puts his hands up the wrong way.
What's the dialogue like in Django? Because I hear it's like everyone's saying it's like some of the best stuff he's written for ages in terms of the way it sounds and the amusing stuff and.
Yeah, it is scripted really well. It is really everyone just. I don't know whether some of it was maybe impromptu at the time because stuff just seems to bounce off each other really well. I mean, I know that I actually read an article last week about the fact that so in one particular scene. There's no spoilers, don't worry. Leonardo DiCaprio is smashing his hand against the table because he's getting really passionate about talking about something, and his hand starts bleeding. And like that wasn't actually supposed to happen in like the original thing, but he just completely acted straight through it. You would have thought that was supposed to happen.
Just went with it and sort of made it his own.
Yeah, exactly. So whether there's all that kind of stuff in there as well is quite possible. But yeah, it was scripted really, really nicely, and some of the conversations, especially between Jamie Foxx and Christopher Waltz, is just hilarious when he's teaching him new words, for example. It was just really good.
Yeah, well, Tarantino's one of the best at this writing conversations, isn't he?
Yeah,
it's really difficult to write something natural. Just sort of random people talking sort of about nothing. It's hard to do.
Rather like what we're doing.
It's definitely believable because obviously if you can script things till you're blue in the face, but if people don't pull it off well or if it just doesn't sound right, it won't. It just won't sound right. But obviously that was he's done his best on that and it's obviously shown through.
Yeah, because me and Sophie, when we watched some horror film a few weeks ago, the gulf between a good film and a bad film is tremendous. It's so easy to make a film. Just get a few people can vaguely act, stick them in a house, and they can be a horror film. Some man that's going around killing them. But to actually do something,
they'll be dead in 10 minutes. They don't need to talk.
No, exactly. They just need to get the boobs out, and that's all you need to do in horror films. But because I keep saying to Sophie, we should write a horror film, like a ghost film, like Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
I think, we could do it.
I would love to see just you freaking out in your house, Marty.
Like Mika.
It's like to camera shots of you going, oh my God, oh no, I think I saw something move. Curtain fluttered. I'd go see it.
I'm glad someone would, mate.
I'd go see it subtitled in German. I think that'd be amazing.
No, it'd be dubbed in German, so it would be like someone with I don't know, we'd put someone completely bipolar opposite to Martyn's voice in it. That would be hilarious.
Really squeaky high voice.
I'll be happy. Yes, mate. I'll be happy if Arnie did my voice. He could do it. With a nice big accent.
Nice.
He can't speak German though, can he? Or can he?
Well, he can get Austrian. Because I'll start reading his autobiography. Yeah. I don't know if he can speak German. I don't know how different Austrian to German is. But Arnie be fun with it. But,
trust you to pick someone who's really big and masculine to try and portray you.
He's the only one who could do it.
I'm bigger than Arnie. I'm taller than him. So
what do you think of the autobiography, Martyn? Is it Total Recall?
Yeah, that's the name of it. It's really interesting. I'm probably about a third of the way through when his bodybuilding career, he's pretty much reached the pinnacle of it now. Yeah. But throughout the beginning, you can tell he's a very clever person. Everything he does, everything he touches he's ever done well, apart from when he was in the army. I won't spoil it to you, but he made a few big mistakes in the Austrian army. When he was a tank driver, you could try and piece the rest of it together.
Now I want to read it.
So he made a few mistakes, but everything he does, he comes to America, not being able to speak a language, then starts a mail order business, makes money. With this bit of money he's made, he then invests in a property that is expected to rocket in value. And then through his bodybuilding, he's got into acting, and it's just everything one after the other. He had a few setbacks, but everything he does is extremely well. And he's just one of those people that everything he does, he works incredibly hard at it. I think partly is his childhood.
He strikes me as a really kind of interesting guy, really. I know people kind of
give
it all that and say, he's just Terminator, but...
he had quite a tough upbringing, from what I was reading. But by chance, you don't become the best bodybuilder in the world, one of the top actors and successful actors of all time, and get into one of the top offices in politics by chance. He's very likeable, which obviously helps, but you don't get there by chance. You have to work hard at it. So I would recommend reading it.
What's your favourite Arnie film, just out of interest?
We go around the houses for this one.
Yeah. Mine's probably Total Recall, I think.
Snap.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat it. I've not seen the remake. I kind of refuse to watch it.
I actually had a copy of Total Film in front of me, and I saw there was a remake with Colin Farrell. I don't know if this is... I actually threw it across the room. I threw it across the room. I was like, I'm not reading that. It's just made me too angry.
Do you know what? I did actually go and see it just because I felt like I needed to see how bad Colin Farrell was going to be in it.
Was he actually all right, or...?
He was all right, but I just really dislike when he puts on an American accent because he slips in and out of his Irish accent, and it's just really off-putting. I'll be honest. I know that Total Recall, the original Total Recall. I mean, I really like the original Total Recall, but I think there was too much hair flicking and cleavage shots in the second one to try and pull it off. And the fact that they changed Total Recall to spell with a K because they're making it down with the kids, I was just, no, I can't. I can't do this. Yeah, I was like, why am I here?
Who played
Kate Beckinsale.
Sharon Stone character.
She played the female love interest / combatant. Don't know if that's how you describe it.
Was that the fake wife or the Martian? Not the Martian love interest, but.
Oh God, I don't know. Do you know what? I'm actually gonna have to check IMDb because I can't remember off the top of my head. The two women in it basically are pretty similar to me. Like I can't really tell the difference. So I'm just gonna quickly check so that I don't say a stupid thing. Kate Beckinsale plays his pretend wife, and then you've got Jessica Biel, who plays the kind of woman from. Well, it's technically not even Mars in this.
No, is it not?
No, it's not. So
apparently, it's more in line with the book in that sense because I don't think they go to Mars in the book.
Was it Philip K. Dick's book, wasn't it?
Indeed,
that's right.
I tell you, a decent Philip K. Dick adaptation that I was watching the other week. Just on I've got it on DVD called A Scanner Darkly. I know we were talking about Keanu Reeves the other
strange film. Yeah,
it is a weird film, but I've never seen Keanu Reeves sort of hit that vacant expression he's got in his face. It's never been better used than in this film, which is kind of about like an undercover cop trying to sort of like keep his cool while he's infiltrating a drugs ring. But
it was something about the animation. It made me feel a little bit sick. We saw it at the cinema.
Yeah, that rotoscoping. Yeah,
it's constantly moving, isn't it? And it's kind of like
that's been around for like decades. Rotoscoping has, but they sort of brought it back into vogue with that film. But yeah.
You haven't seen much of it since, though, have you?
No,
just saying. Just saying.
But my Terminator 2. Sorry, say that again. Terminator 2 is probably my favourite Arnie film.
Yeah,
I think
classic Terminator.
It's just probably the perfect action film.
Yeah,
you could probably say Terminator 1's better stylistically in many ways.
I don't know. I think I favour the second one, to be honest. It's nice to have Arnie as a good guy.
Yeah,
yeah.
But
like in Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
You know what? I was just thinking about Kindergarten Cop. I do actually really like that film.
It's good.
I'm
It's a
kind of
guilty pleasure of
embarrassed
mine.
to say that. Yeah, I really am embarrassed to say that, but I do quite like it just because him looking after loads of children is just possibly the funniest thing I think I've seen in a long time.
No.
Would you say that's your favourite film, Zara, of his?
It's either that or maybe Twins, Twins, because that's quite a funny one as well. And plus, it's I don't know. I like all his.
Talk about like a sequel. To
yeah, they're making triplets. Have you heard who's going to be the third son, third sibling?
Oh, please be Chris Rock.
Close. It's Eddie Murphy.
Oh,
It's going to be a shocking film, but I don't think I've seen Twins.
Twins got a remake, didn't it? Sort of fairly recently, if I recall.
Did it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did actually, but I didn't see it or anything.
No,
but
it's kind of gone from memory. I don't remember who played anyone. Probably no one of note. But,
I'd say probably Commando is my second favourite Arnie film.
I haven't actually seen Commando.
You haven't? No. Hang on, what am I thinking of? No, Predator. Sorry.
Oh, right.
One. Predator.
Well, I've seen that.
Yeah. I've
Obviously.
seen Commando as well, but Predator is probably my second favourite.
Predator's pretty good, yeah. I like the old Conan films as well. I don't know if you guys have got into those, but it's like swords and magic and slaying. Yeah. It's basically Arnie running around with shoulder-length hair and bare-chested for 3 hours. But yeah,
I'm sure he's making another Conan as well.
Yeah,
I'm sure I've heard he's making another Conan.
They made what was it? Jason Momoa did the last Conan film, which was kind of
that kind
a
of
bit of a departure from the series. Yeah, it was a guy from Game of Thrones, which he was quite good in Game of Thrones, but he was he was no Arnie, he was no Conan.
No, he can't replace Arnie.
No.
Well, apart from Arnie, what else has everyone been watching then? Because we've gone into an Arnie-shaped quagmire at the moment.
I'll tell you what I've been watching, which I doubt any of you may have watched, but I've been watching the HBO series of Girls. I'm a little bit behind on that, but I've been watching season 1. I don't know whether any of you have heard anything about it, seeing as you're not girls, technically.
No.
So I don't know whether it would appeal. But saying that, one of the guys that I work with, he's quite a manly man, and he's seen all of it.
Right.
So you guys are lacking.
What's it all about? I don't really know much about it, to be honest.
People have been saying it's like a more realistic version of Sex and the City. So it's
it's the worst program ever.
Well, it's a lot funnier than in a different kind of way than Sex and the City. And although it does, because it is set in New York about a set of girls, but they're a lot younger. They're like in their early 20s, and they're just kind of struggling to get by and really awful, awkward, dirty sex in it. And it's definitely more realistic than what Sex and the City is. But I mean, I know you guys wouldn't have watched it, and I'm kind of wishing that Sophie was on this podcast with us today so we could discuss. But seeing as she's not, I will save that for next time.
Yeah, I just had to go off.
I've seen my fair share of Sex and the City.
Shame on you, James. Were you forced on it?
No. I did it of my own volition.
Was it a case of you, when your missus wasn't home, quickly putting the DVD in the DVD player? Oh my God, I've got to watch the next episode.
I must find out what happened to Mr. Big. Yeah, no, it was a couple of years ago when the Sex and the City was big time, and I don't know.
Did you see the film?
Utterly shameful. No, I didn't actually.
No.
You're not missing much.
No.
No, I heard about the second one was appalling, but
yeah, second one was horrific.
There's probably just a feature-length episode of the same old, and shoes.
Well, the first one was kind of like that, where shoes and New York, main kind of feature in it. And then they decided, I think it was Dubai they went to in the second one, and it was like, why are you doing this? The whole point of Sex and the City is that they were in New York City rather than Dubai. It's just, and then there was it's just some really bad jokes and some awful karaoke, and it's just not worth it. Definitely not worth it.
Yeah, I was just trying to think what's the best TV to film adaptation. I do like the South Park movie. I could watch that.
I haven't seen that for a while.
I could watch it.
I remember being like quite drunk around a friend's house, and they put the South Park movie on, and I was like, at the time, I was like, "Oh, I'm really drunk. I want to drop off to sleep." And then I was like, within 5 minutes, I was like laughing, like a madman at that.
I
just enthralled, and that was that is good.
Like, this is like Citizen Kane. This is amazing.
It's along the lines.
Were you high as well, by any chance?
No, I really enjoyed South Park, but in a different way.
Good little musical numbers. Some of those songs are pretty catchy.
That's true. That's true. You throw in a musical number, I'm yours.
Well, Orson Welles did Transformers. There's no reason if he was still alive he could have done South Park.
That is true.
But yeah, I can't really remember what's in the first Transformers sort of series.
I've never watched the Transformers movie, but I'm going to steal that line from you about Transformers being your favourite Orson Welles movie. I'll use that.
Oh yeah, I remember saying that now. Yeah, it's good.
I've been watching the first series of Homeland. Getting pretty into that. It's captivating stuff. Yeah,
a lot of people have said that's really good, but I still haven't got around to seeing it yet.
It is amazing, really.
I was really sceptical because I thought, I don't know, I'm not sure if I want to watch stuff about the war and kind of American intrigue, but no, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I'm quite like that. When something gets a lot of hype, I tend to sort of almost be put off by it, if it gets a lot of build-up. But Homeland was one of those things where it definitely lived up to it. Like, complex, engaging, really good characters, a really strong sort of female leads.
That's the acting is brilliant. I mean,
Damian Lewis, isn't it? He's the main one.
Damian Lewis and Claire Danes are the main two in that, and they are both fantastic.
Yeah.
I do like Damian Lewis.
He's a great actor.
He is,
Claire Danes. I've never seen Claire Danes in anything apart from the Romeo and Juliet modern kind of.
Oh, her.
With DiCaprio, and I was kind of like, I don't know if she'd be good as a main character in a serious drama. But yeah, I was really impressed. And, I think that's one of the best sort of female performances I've seen of late.
Yeah. Saying that, just to drop in there, she was in Me and Orson Welles, just for your link back to Orson Welles, just in case you were wondering.
That's a nifty little segue.
The circle is complete.
We're done, we can go.
That's cool. I'll just say what else she was in. She was in Les Mis, but like the 98 version.
All right.
That starred Liam Neeson. I assume in Hugh Jackman's role now. Jeffrey Rush, Uma Thurman as well.
Television actually over Christmas, but I missed it somehow. I'm sure it's good.
I tell you what, Liam Neeson movie I saw the other day. I saw this one called The Grey.
We watched that the other day.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be good.
It is quite good, but it's different from what the trailer would show you, because the trailer shows him like strapping a bunch of broken bottles to his hand in order to fight a wolf, hand-to-hand combat.
Awesome.
That's what real men do, by the way.
Yeah.
I think I saw someone doing that in town last night.
But it's actually a much more sort of thoughtful film. It's like it's more about being stranded in the wild, surviving against the elements and stuff. And at the end of the day, a lot of it is a bunch of guys around a campfire doing that whole manly dialogue thing, which is quite entertaining. And then occasionally one of them gets mauled by a wolf.
Yeah.
So they're being sort of hunted, are they, by a pack of?
Yeah, they're aren't they?
Yeah, they find themselves like deep in wolf country, and
what country is that?
It's a country you don't want to be in.
It's near Ireland, isn't it?
And so they basically hike across the frozen wastes, and and you see them get killed in amusing ways. So I'd recommend it, but it's not the all-out action movie you'd imagine it was from the trailer.
Yeah, it was more of a character piece, isn't it? When we're talking to each other, it's like, they're feeling this, they're feeling that. What we should do about the wolves, and it's not a mass. It's not Liam Neeson versus the wolves, is it?
Yeah.
But it was alright though. It's worth a watch.
See, Liam Neeson confused me ever so slightly, just because he goes from like being in really good films to then really bad films, and I just don't understand why or what he's doing with his life, quite generally.
He's a complex man, yeah.
He has to be a very complex man, because obviously he's in the Batman series, that's obviously just finished.
Star Wars.
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff, and Taken. But has either or any of you seen Battleship?
No, thankfully I have not seen
really
Battleship.
Bad things about it.
It was awful.
My sort of radar detected a clunker from the off with that one, so I gave it a wide berth.
Well, I should have probably known better, considering it's got Rihanna as her debut kind of acting role in that. But I felt I should give it the benefit of the doubt because, I watch everything. Well, I tried to watch everything, and I felt like I probably shouldn't have in this respect. Yeah. But it's really not very good. And I'm actually quite surprised. I'm looking at IMDb, and it's got a rating of 6. Which I think is quite generous. Wow. But it surprised me that Liam Neeson was involved in that film, to be honest. Although he's only in it for maybe 5-10 minutes, it's still 5-10 minutes too long for him, I think. Bless him.
Oh.
Shame on him.
Well, the film of the board game, or how can you resist? I'm waiting for Monopoly, the film. I think it'd be amazing.
Ridley Scott's supposed to be actually directing a Monopoly game movie. It was years ago, this, but...
I'm sorry, what?
A movie based on Monopoly. Trust me, look it up.
Michael, you're a genius.
Ridley Scott thought of it before you, Mike, so sadly you can't take credit, but there is a Monopoly film.
See, there is... On IMDb, I'm looking, it says The Monopoly of Money, but that's an Indian film, so I'm having the feeling that is probably not the one you're talking about.
You are clearly messing with me now.
So it's Monopoly the Bollywood. That's awesome.
Well, apparently. But it does say on IMDb at the moment, Monopoly, which is supposed to be a comedy, but whether it's actually based on the board game, it's got no information on it, so it's...
All right. Well,
actually, I'm thinking, they did one of Cluedo, didn't they?
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry, yeah.
Pennywise, a clown person.
Yeah.
And Frankenfurter, whatever it was in
the Rocky Horror Picture Show, yes, yeah.
So there's been a few games turned into films, but...
Have any of them done any well? Any good?
I don't know, we've actually got Cluedo recorded on our Skybox to watch at some point.
Just saving that up for a really rainy day.
Bank holiday Monday.
Yeah. So, we can look forward to a bit of Tim Curry.
So, what other TV have people been sort of watching?
Well, I'm going to actually start watching Breaking Bad because everyone's been talking about it. I know they're on like season 100,000 or something by now. But I've heard so much about it from like listening to other podcasts and just people talking about it, and I feel slightly left out now. So I'm about to start watching that. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it at all.
I saw the first episode, and I think I saw the second episode actually when we had like a Netflix trial, and I kind of got quite into it. And then the trial ended, and we never really went back to it. And now it's on, as you say, series like 50 something. So it seems quite a daunting thing to sort of pick up. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I constantly hear good things about it, but it's one of those things I've never gotten around to seeing it. So, but I know Bryan Cranston is in it, and he's the lead, and he was in the film Drive, which is like my favourite film of the last like 10 years. So I'm going to give it a look just based on the fact that he's in it. So,
well, something that might appeal to you is I've got the first season box set in my hand at this very moment in time, and it's got a picture of Bryan Cranston in his pants. So I'm sure you would want to watch it just from that. I'm pretty sure that's why I picked it up anyway.
I'm actually pre-ordering it now.
Isn't it?
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't seen it because Sophie doesn't want to really watch it. She says it sounds too depressing.
It is very
she likes more upbeat things, and so we haven't watched it. I want to watch it.
You won't be borrowing my DVD collection then.
No.
It's all depressing.
No, we tend to watch more upbeat things. We try other stuff. We started Game of Thrones. We haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
Right.
About 4 episodes in.
How's Sophie finding that?
Indifferent. She loves Lord of the Rings, which I hate. I hate fantasy stuff. I hate the series genre.
Oh.
But we thought
I don't mind fantasy stuff. I mean, it depends on like the world. Some fantasy stuff I can buy into, like the world, and some fantasy stuff I can't.
Because
to be honest, sort of, I think Game of Thrones I'd consider kind of light fantasy. It's not like Lord of the Rings is kind of high fantasy, isn't it? So you've got like magic that kind of solves everything and kind of weird creatures. But Game of Thrones is quite, I guess it's more about like the politics and the...
Yeah, that's why I haven't been minding that so much, because it's not as bad to say, well, not as bad and not the right word, but you know what I mean. It's not as like Lord of the Rings. But,
quite graphic as well.
Yeah,
it's quite gory. Yeah, it's
Spartacus was quite graphic.
I haven't seen Spartacus, but Blood on the Sand, is it the TV show?
That's right.
I saw a trailer for it on one of Charlie Brooker's shows like a while ago called when he had his own TV panel show called Have You Been Watching on Channel 4, and like there was a clip of it, and the amount of blood that actually came out at one point actually turned the entire screen red, where you could actually see the characters, and I was like, this is amazing. It seems to have been designed primarily to appeal to like 13-year-old boys who don't have the internet.
But Soph loved it, Ray. She really loved the series. She loved the main guy. He sadly died shortly after that series. The guy who plays Spartacus. And she likes John Hannah as well. I think that mainly becomes from the Mummy films, when he plays Jonathan as a bumbling Englishman. But that's alright. But Game of Thrones I can cope with. I just hate fantasy.
I'm the same.
I like my superheroes. I hate people like Spider-Man, Superman, because it's not realistic. Iron Man and Batman is in the realms of possibility.
What?
I'm sorry.
That's the worst theory ever for not liking something.
Right, think about it. What Bruce Wayne and what's a man?
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark. Sorry. They're both like billionaires. They have lots and lots of money. All they do is, they're both intelligent, particularly Tony Stark. They just use all their money to build technology, whether it's to build a suit, whether to build a tumbler, whatever. They just build things. It's no fantasy. They don't have superpowers. They just have money.
I'm going to stop you here just for a second and just point out that Tony Stark, one, has an artificial life support system that keeps him running.
Yeah, so we have that.
Didn't he manage to make it in like some really remote area where he had like
in Afghanistan, like in the middle of a bunker, with nothing around?
Like, the parts from some old Jeep and like some random isotope.
It's
still the greatest A-Team episode ever.
It's still within the realms of
making
possibility.
something randomly.
Yeah, but I could actually make one of those. It's really easy to make. You just get a straw and like a cup and put a light in it, and then it's pretty much done.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Well, then in that case, it is realistic.
I gave away the secret. Sorry.
So Brian,
there's going to be like thousands of Iron Men flying past.
But
please don't try and make it and then fly, because if someone dies on my count, please
don't try this at home, kids. Please.
Like Superman, he can fly around the world to make time go backwards.
Okay, now that was stupid. Yeah,
Superman. I'm not a big Superman.
I could be.
It's annoying in films when, even like Harry Potter. They can't. At the one precise moment they need to be able to do their magic, they can't do it because of some random glowing stone that causes power to stop working.
Are you saying that Harry Potter is a superhero?
Well, no.
Are you saying that Harry Potter isn't realistic?
Fantasy and magic.
You're saying that Harry Potter isn't real?
I think there are some holes in your theory, to be honest.
Right, Batman and Tony Stark, they're fine. They're realistic. They're acceptable in my mind.
Okay.
What about like Wolverine? Because he's just a guy with like some, pretty badass kind of exoskeleton. Yeah. And he's a mutant as well, so that explains it.
But the thing is, I like pretty much all of Batman's villains because they're
all... What about the X-Men, though, Mike? Do you like the X-Men?
I don't like X-Men.
No?
No.
Oh.
It's silly.
It's silly.
But all of Batman's villains are all normal to an extent. They just had bad upbringings. They fell into acid and they got a bit weird. Or stuff like that. It's normal.
What about Scarface? The Batman villain Scarface. He's like a little ventriloquist doll that came to life because he was made out of the wood of a hangman's noose.
Okay, that's an exception. the best ones, okay. There's weird ones like Quilt Man, whatever he's called in Batman.
And Clayface is kind of...
Yeah, okay. But generally, Batman and Tony Stark are fine. They're realistic enough.
Cool.
Fair enough. Right. Has anyone else got one last thing to say?
I know we were talking about the thing that Netflix were doing. They're doing their own version of House of Cards, which was an old sort of BBC series about like an evil Tory politician, and they're setting it with Kevin Spacey in America. And I think it's probably going to be excellent, so I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, most things with Kevin Spacey are excellent, but it's interesting how Netflix have been really big in the whole series up because it's their first piece of original content. It's original, it's not brand new, but it's their first own produced content, which is...
it's an interesting sort of way to go, isn't it, really?
Because they pay to do Arrested Development as well. I don't know if you've ever seen that comedy.
I want
did
to
see a bit of
it's
that.
hilarious.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It was quite good.
But they're doing all their own content, and it's getting well received. And Netflix, good on them doing this good series. So
this makes me sad because Netflix isn't in Germany,
Aww.
so I can't watch any of this.
Do you have like an equivalent of? I don't know. We've got loads here. We've got Tesco. I've got one now. I read there's Blinkbox.
They own Blinkbox.
Yeah.
They bought that.
Oh.
I find that terrifying. Tesco's got tentacles in every pie.
Tesco's do everything.
Yeah,
They do.
Everything.
They are the new empire, really.
Pretty much. Yeah. And I've simply just bowed to their will, like my mobiles with Tesco, my car insurance. I'm just
I'm not being funny, but they do reasonably good deals. So it's in this economy that everyone keeps going on about, you've got to go with something that's price savvy, really, haven't you? And Tesco's they always seem to do really good prices. I don't know whether anyone else has noticed that or it's just me. But
yeah, they do. Yeah. You've got to love a bargain this day and age.
I've been known to peruse their DVD racks. Yes.
Well, especially now, HMV is somewhere in limbo. So maybe Tesco's and Sainsbury's are the only places you're going to be able to find DVDs in actual shops.
But we'll see. But I feel that's all we're going to have enough time for, guys, today.
Okay.
So thanks everyone to listen to their first ever PopBucket podcast.
We're sorry if it was shit.
Sponsored by Tesco's, it's seemingly.
I think we need to get in contact with them.
Yeah, maybe they'll give us some club card points or something.
Get 10p off a litre of our petrol.
A free pass for the restaurant. Yay!
That's cool. But so thanks so much for listening to it. We have got 2 competitions going live at the moment. One for Ape Escape and also one for a copy of Wall. Look at popbucket.co.uk for more information on that. But otherwise, we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.